Okay, hi, I'm Terry, and this is Lyndsy, and we're going
Hi.
to talk to you about the Biaha dive site out of Padangbai off the east coast of Bali. Okay, it's probably one of the further islands you'll travel to from Padangbai. It's one of our
Wait,
favorite.
let's clarify that. People leave Padangbai and they go to Nusa Lombok and Nusa Penida. It's not that far. But if you're diving the islands in that little bay,
Yeah, local
it would be
dive.
the
Local
furthest
dive,
one.
thank you.
It's not very far. But the cool thing about Biha is that there's a shark cave there. And that is just phenomenal. Or not a cave, Terry would say a cavern.
So you've got this huge cavern which everyone describes as a cave. It does go back a little way, but you can always see daylight, even at the back. And
Well, it depends on how much you turn your neck.
yes, but if you're at the back of the cave, you can see daylight. Anyway, but it has a blowhole at the top of it, which
Super
means
cool.
when it gets super wavy, super choppy, you can hear the pressure changing in that period. So you've got to be careful of your ears and equalize all the time.
So if you watch the video, you'll probably see us equalizing over and over and over. And that's just because the pressure is just changing. Bop, 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 bop,
And
bop.
you should be, I haven't listened to the video yet, but you should be able to hear the banging of the water going up through this blowhole. Anyway, very cool, very big, the cave. You can definitely get a few divers down there. And
But it's not cool just because it's a cave. Like, that is cool. But the thing for me is every time you go down, you see at least one shark, which is fabulous. But
if you're lucky.
we've always seen a shark.
No, I'm saying if you're lucky, you'll see 5 or 6.
Oh, yes.
Five or six. So the white tips sleep at the back of the cave, which makes it really cool because it's black, and you're going in there with your torch, and then you light up and you see all the sharks moving around in front of you.
And then, like, there's a little kind of side, so they go from the back of the cave, and then there's kind of like a little, kind of like a cavernous on the side of the cave, and they like to swim back and forth in there, so you can see them.
And you'll get their silhouette also against the mouth of the cave as they go round. It's very cool.
Very cool.
And and lots of white tip sharks, little ones and big ones.
But what I'm most excited about with this dive is there are so much marine life in the cave. We've seen all different types of nudies, but our first time in, we saw a Spanish dancer, which was really cool. It was my first Spanish dancer to see. That was amazing. We've
lots
also
of
seen
resident octopuses.
Yes, lots of octopus, lots of frogfish. We've
Lots
seen
of
different frogfish. So many scorpion fish. So you want to be careful with your buoyancy because they're on the top and the side and the bottom of all different colors.
And if you're looking in the cracks and around at the side, you've got all the lobsters as well.
Yes, and so many crabs. So many crabs. And you can tell that I think it's the octopus must eat some of the crabs because always be
There's always carcasses of crabs lying around the floor.
There's so many octopus. It's amazing. It's definitely, I would have to say, one of my very, very favorite dive sites. Probably my favorite one from Padangbai just because of all the things that you can see. And so many different nudies.
Yeah.
And if you're into macro, this is definitely a great site for you. So you've got that blend where you've got the sharks, you've got the really, really big scorpion fish, you've got the octopus.
Yeah.
And then you've got amazing macro life, which is just phenomenal because it's like everywhere you look, there's something really, really exciting to see.
We spend, so out of the course of an hour-long dive, we spend about 30 to 35 minutes just in the mouth of the cavern.
And just being kind of still and looking around. You definitely want a torch. So shine your torch in the crevices, and that's where you'll see all kinds of stuff.
But things aren't hard to find. You're seeing things really quickly. I mean, the cave is the cave. It's just full of life. You've just got to stop and look. I suspect lots of people go in there, see the sharks, and leave again. But I'd like to say we spend 35 minutes in the mouth of the cavern just looking for all the stuff.
So cool. Yeah, so cool. And I feel like the whole time I'm in there, I'm like marking things. I'm like, oh, frogfish, really cool nudie, big scorpion fish. And I'm just kind of waiting for Terry to come.
I'm in the back with the sharks.
Yes. And I've got like my little thing to ring so I can point them out. I'm like, Terry. And I point one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then I'm already finding more things to show him. It's a really exciting dive.
It's a really good dive site. It's a really good dive site. And then when you're done inside the cave, the cavern, like I say, that takes about 35 minutes. That's what we're averaging going in there. You come out, and each time we've gone to the right. So that would be south, I guess, where the island's situated.
Yeah, and as we keep going down...
Yes, it would be south.
Yeah, so you'll see so many nudies if you're looking as you go along, kind of that...
It's a wall. It's a wall feature, big boulders, not so corally, big red rock all the way down.
It's amazing. And yeah, so many nudies. We've seen octopus along that wall as well. And then depending on how you're doing with your air consumption, you'll go around a bend. And in that bend, there's kind of like another little cavern where sometimes there will be a white tip kind of hanging out.
Yep.
And like nudies up on the wall of the cavern. It's really cool.
So there's nudies. We had big octopus along there.
Yeah, we did.
Scorpion fish. We've also, on the safety, so if you go really further and round the top of the island, we've had an eagle ray come past. Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's one of my most favourite dives off of Bali.
Yeah, and it's generally pretty easy. We had one time on it that was a little rough. It was, I think, the first time we went down. There were lots of swells that day.
Yeah, it definitely depends how choppy the water is to get into the cave comfortably.
But it wasn't bad, and you know, if you have your little dive stick, you can kind of stay close to the bottom and just kind of go with the swell and like hold yourself in and jet with the swell a little bit and go a little bit further till you get into the cave. And then when you get into the cave, it's super calm.
Yes, it's not a hard
it's not a hard
dive site. I mean, it gets deep when you're on the wall outside, and as long as you've got good buoyancy, you're fine.
But definitely, I wouldn't say like a beginner dive site. I think you'd have trouble with your buoyancy and equalizing in the cave.
You probably could do it as a beginner, but you wouldn't enjoy it as much. No. And you've really got to be into looking for things. I can imagine lots of people go into the cave, scare the sharks, and leave.
And then leave.
And yet there's so much more going on in all the walls and the rocks, and there's just lots here.
It's super fascinating.
Yeah, it's a really good dive site. It can get cold. It has lots of upswells, which will bring the eagle rays and all the big fish up. So it can be cold around those islands.
I always dive. I have like a skin suit that I wear over my bathing suit, and then I just have a 3mm long wetsuit, and I wear that with socks, booties, and a hood. But I've never been...
when I say cold, I mean cold for what you'd expect for Bali.
Not cold in the way though where it interferes with the dive. Like sometimes if the dive is boring and I'm cold, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is dull, I want to get out.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting. So like any discomfort, like for me, I just ignore it because it's such a great site. I just love it.
Yeah, this is one of the great sites off of Bali, and once again, not regularly dive because everyone goes to Nusa Penida, Lebangan, the Gilis, and I feel this one gets overlooked a little bit.
So it's really good for us that everybody does head out to the Gilis or Nusa Penida because that means the site has been pretty much untouched, and it makes it just fabulous because I don't know that we've seen 1 or 2 groups of divers each time we've dove it, but they're usually kind of off because it is a big site. I don't think we've ever run into anyone else in the cave.
No.
Cavern.
So that's really good. So yes, it's under dived. It's like I say, I think it's our #1 dive site off of Bali. Yeah, you should watch the video and go dive it.
But not when we're there. We want to be alone.
Yes. Okay. Bye for now.
Welcome to Gili Biaha.